some face-to-face, some online. We were still doing course reviews. Things had kind of slowed down though. So in spring of 2021, we were looking more at how to improve our courses. Now that we've reviewed a lot, or most of them, or we've reviewed at least one from every instructor, how can we improve that? By that time, we had upgraded to a full Quality Matters membership as well. So we looked at how to improve our online classes, and we decided that we wanted to try out a template. We'd been hearing a lot about it in webinars and reading, the benefits of using a template. So we decided to move forward with that. So I began to look at options. Canvas had a few free ones that were available, and they're very nicely done, very designed well, organized well. We just wanted something that had a little more, that was more tailored to us, that looked and felt more like Rock Valley. So I did some research into design strategies, was brainstorming, what do we need to include in our template? And I was also at the same time becoming more involved with Quality Matters. I had finished my first professional development course with them in March of that year, 2021. And then I had a light bulb moment. Let's use the rubric to guide our design. If you've ever looked at the Quality Matters rubric, it's very robust. QM is an organization that focuses on continuous improvement of online course and program design. They're often considered like the gold standard in the field. There's over 1,500 organizations, but their flagship tool is the rubric, which they use to review courses and then also certify online courses as being QM certified. So it is available for free online. And then if you become a member, there's a much more robust, fully annotated rubric. So just wanted to show that quickly. So this is their QM site, and then the higher education rubric. They have other rubrics for other fields, so those are available as well. But you'll see here, so there are 8 kind of general areas, and then 42 specific review standards. So that is what we used to create our template. So, and the rubric is based on research-based best practices. So Quality Matters conducts a lot of research. They continue to conduct research and update the rubric as needed. I think it's been a few years since they have, but they themselves are about their own continuous improvement. And so we're happy to say that our template addresses a majority of the specific review standards. Either the material is built in or it's set up in a way that when the faculty member puts in their material, then it will meet those standards. So just some of the benefits of using a rubric to guide design. There are a lot of rubrics out there. There's Quality Matters. ION has one. A lot of institutions make their own rubrics. A lot of those are based on QM, but they all contain best practices in online course design. So when you're using a rubric to design a template, it helps ensure that courses are designed effectively from the beginning. Some benefits of a template for faculty members. It gives them a structure for their course, so they can focus on filling in content. And this is especially helpful for adjuncts. I know at our institution, we have a lot of new adjuncts. Sometimes they get added last minute and they have to put a course together. If they've got this template, they've got kind of the skeleton for it, and they can focus on filling in their content. A template can make that transition to remote teaching a little easier, especially for those who are new to remote or online teaching. And I mentioned earlier that Quality Matters certifies courses. So the benefit of using our template based on the QM rubric is that you've got a huge head start on that QM certification. Templates benefit students as well. They give courses a consistent look and feel, which makes them easier to navigate. So students aren't spending all their time searching for materials. Instead, they can focus on getting started with course content and completing that. So let's take a tour of our course template. So this is our landing page. When you open the template, this is what you're going to see. We've got an image of campus here, course information or course number and title. And we've put directions for using this template on and about this template page. So on that page, it instructs faculty to either replace or change any of this stuff that's in brackets. So the stuff is in brackets is either directions for them or placeholders for them to put in their own information. This section, welcome to the course. Faculty can put a brief overview about the course here. We do have a longer page to give more detailed information, but on the front page, we just wanted to keep it brief. In this section, this is meant to stay, but faculty can certainly tailor it. That's the thing about our template. It gives everything a similar look and feel, but faculty can still tweak it to fit their course needs. This gives information about navigating the course. And down here, we've got just a quick links section. Meet your instructor. You can put a photo there. These are all links to pages. So we've got a page set up for that. This links to the course syllabus page. We've got a Q&A discussion board set up here. This goes to announcements. We've got a virtual meeting so faculty can put in their Zoom link. And then our start button, we give a direction to how to get started in the course right here to begin. Click on the start button. And like I said, this can be tailored. So like, for example, not all of our faculty teach in the buildings that are shown here. So we've had some that want different images, and we've provided a few of them within the file, so they can easily, swap those things out if they want to. If they have their own image they want to upload, that's fine too. They can certainly do that. And same thing with this quick links template we've had, or menu here, we've had faculty modify this a little bit. Not everyone likes to have a Q&A discussion board. They prefer that message them directly, so they might take that out. They might swap out this logo if they don't use Zoom, if they use a different feature altogether. So that's how this is set up. This, if you want to geek out a little bit, is just a table. We did check the accessibility of it, and it's all good because we have this header row here. We did have a slight change based on accessibility. So throughout the course, you'll see this like blue lettering and yellow line. And previously, the course or the template looked like this with the blue and the white lettering overlay. We found, however, that this was not an accessible feature because we used the table to create this line. So I did a little research and was able to find some, just nerding out a little bit, sorry, a little bit of code that I could put in on the pages and still kind of give that similar, border feel with the bold lettering. So that's one way we've updated it. Okay, so from here, students would click on the Start button, and that will take them to the Modules page. On the Modules page, the first module up here is for the instructor, and it's meant to not be published. It is just some information for the instructor, some Ego Canvas information or about this template. Summary here, we've got a walkthrough video. It still features the old template, but it still works as far as the rest of the material. So we've got all of that here. We've got a link here to the instructor guides for Canvas, additional information about conferences and Zoom. This still has a big blue button. I think that might need to be updated. But anyways, we wanted to do a comparison because we had folks asking us what's the difference between what's already in there, why should we use Zoom? So we wanted to do that. I'd like to update that too to include Teams. Some of our faculty use Microsoft Teams as well. We've provided additional resources. So we have some additional training courses that we've set up that faculty can go through. A course on how to engage students, a course on how to use media. One of the great things about our online learning initiative was the creation of our media lab. So this goes all about the resources available there. And then we do have a student orientation for online learning that students can go through, but faculty can see it as well. And then information on UDL and accessibility a little bit there. And students, so students won't see this as long as it's not published. If you go to student view, you'll see it goes right to the welcome module. The welcome module includes general course information, but also institution information. We were finding that some faculty were providing information about like student resources, for example, others weren't. You couldn't find the technology requirements. So this was a way for us to put all that common information at the top of the course so students had easy access to it. This first link just takes you back to the course homepage. And then we've got some dividers here, course information, and this is where a faculty member can put more details. This page itself addresses a lot of the QM standards. So what to expect from the course, where the materials will be found, when a course a new module or week will be opened, contact information, whatever the faculty member prefers, a response time for messages, and an expectation for students as far as interacting with the course. And then we also have a space for a grading policy. And some of this information is likely on a syllabus, right? But it's helpful to put that in a second location. Also, a syllabus can be a very text-dense document. And so to pull out some of those important pieces that you really want students to know and put those on a page can be helpful as well. So grading policy information, students' assignments should be submitted and put in a time. If it's an online course too, it might be helpful to put in a time zone. I've certainly had courses with students who were halfway across the world, and so knowing that time zone is very important. A time frame for grading, which I know can be challenging. I know that especially as a writing instructor, I try to get, papers back, but it's time consuming. And so I try to give students a general idea of when I will be teaching or grading. And also it saves from, they submit something and an hour later, did you grade my assignment? Be patient, we'll get to it. Remember what I said in my course, that this is the time frame. And a late work policy, if it will or won't be accepted, and how, if it'll be penalized or not. And you can even put a grading scale here too. Again, that information is in the syllabus, but it could be helpful to put that here as well. And then earlier I mentioned that Quality Matters is very heavily focused on course objectives, making sure that course objectives are specific and measurable, but also making sure that students know what the course objectives are. Again, they're likely on their syllabus, but it's especially helpful to provide that on like a general course page. So we've got that section here, and we've also got these codes set up. So it's course objective 1, course objective 2, and so forth. We've set up a mapping system within our template, so students or faculty can easily show how weekly or module objectives are related to course objectives, how assessments are related to weekly objectives. So that's why we have that in there. And that is actually a strong suggestion from Quality Matters too, is to have that mapping system. The next page is a spot for instructors to introduce themselves. You can put a photo and a paragraph. You can do a screen recording, whatever they would prefer. We've linked to some resources. We also have a captioning service on campus. Our goal is to get as much, if not all, of our videos in our courses captioned. So that's one thing that faculty can have done in the Media Lab. We've got a placeholder for the syllabus. This is just the institutionally created syllabus template, so the faculty can replace that. And then if any third-party sites are used, so things like Cengage, MyMathLab, all of that, we have a spot for faculty to provide that information and encourage them to put the tech support information for those resources as well. And so that's under resources. Then we provide technical requirements and technology resources. So these are the specifications for using Canvas. Of course, faculty may use other programs, so they can add the requirements or change these if needed for their specific software applications. And then we provide some information. We have a laptop rental program, so we just give some information about that as well. And then student support resources. We've broken down some campus resources that students can access online or on campus, and then just have divided it between academic, student, and health and safety. And this page alone also addresses a lot of the specific review standards from Quality Matters. One of their entire general standards is about student support, and a lot of that information is on here. And then the last section in the welcome module is the interacting with others portion. So we set up a page for Netiquette guidelines. Again, faculty can tailor this if they have additional ones, if they have different ones they want. We just want to have some Netiquette guidelines outlined for students from the very beginning. So we've got this one here. We've cited our source here. And again, faculty can change this. And throughout the course, you'll see in the discussion boards that we have set up, they always link back to Netiquette guidelines. So just as a reminder, be nice to each other. This is that course Q&A discussion board I mentioned that's linked from the home page. And also here in this module, but if students ever had general questions and wanted to post them here for faculty to respond, or maybe their fellow students see and say, oh, I had that same issue, here's the solution, you can put that there. And then Another specific review standard in Quality Matters addresses student introductions. So they post an introduction of themselves and respond to one another. So they're interacting with each other. And the more you can get interaction and connection in your courses, helps students feel less isolated. It's been shown that, the more connected they are, the more chance they have of success. So this is just one small way that faculty can do that. So that's our welcome module. So again, the QM standards we've addressed. We've stated a grading policy. We've outlined the instructor's plan for interacting with students by giving response time to messages and that sort of thing. Netiquette guidelines outlined. Links to policies to follow, which we've got a link for the student handbook under student support resources. We've stated technology requirements and provided technical support information. We've got information about accessibility services here, disability services, and information about student support services, pretty much everything here. And then again, the self-introduction of the faculty member and the student's introduction of themselves and interacting. Then we come down to the content modules. And the rest of the template is pretty much the content modules. We've set them all up the same. We've put 16 in here by default. Faculty, of course, can unpublish or delete the ones that they don't use as needed. We start off with the title here and the week one. And now, just a note about coding things. So we did add some more coding. Maybe we got a little happy with the coding. So week one, assignment one, week one, discussion one, week one, quiz one. Got mixed reactions about that, but that's fine. As long as they have this kind of similar look and feel, in between modules, then that helps students navigate the course more easily. So we've got this overview page, and this is where faculty would put learning objectives for that week or that module. And again, week one, learning objective one, week one, learning objective two. And then we also give the instruction for putting corresponding course objectives next to the learning module using that same code. So that's that mapping system that we built in that is a strategy for meeting a lot of Quality Matters requirements. So students or faculty can put the learning objectives here. They can give a brief overview of what's going to be covered. We have a lot of faculty who make use of videos, so they'll put a video here. Anything like that is great. And then a to-do list, just so that it outlines what exactly needs to be done for that week to meet the learning objectives. And again, with these, so these are the learning activities. That's what Quality Matters calls it, and assessments. So you would put the corresponding weekly or module objective there. And then we've got a page for reading materials. Again, we've got several headlines or headings. Don't have to use them all. Take out what you want, and then put in your materials that require for students to read. And then we have a separate page for if you give like a video presentation or lecture, or maybe you have YouTube videos, other things, other multimedia you want to include, you can put that here. Some like to put it on the materials page, either way is fine. Again, we have multiple headings here that can be used or deleted as needed. And then so then we get into the assignments, and I did want to back up one thing. So in the content modules, we've got everything divided with headings, and we've included these kind of cute little emoji here just to give a visual cue. And so we do that throughout in all the modules. We've got that same setup. And then we get into the assignments, discussions, and assessments. Faculty might not have all of these things every semester in every week. You might not have a quiz every week. You might not have a discussion every week. That's fine. Just take it out as needed. Again, like I said, we've set up kind of the structure, and if faculty need to tweak it to meet course needs, that's great. So then with these pages, then they're all kind of set up similarly. Give a brief overview of what the assignment is. We do provide a link for faculty to instructor guides in Canvas, just in case they might need that additional resource. Provide a brief overview of or the guidelines for the assignment. And then we do put technical support, and this is intended to stay for students. So you can delete this part and then just keep that. It's a Canvas student guide for assignments, again, in case students are new to Canvas. Then this discussion board prompt also set up similarly. You give a brief overview, guidelines for the assignment, technical support. Oh, and then also we've, again, as I mentioned before, we've linked to Netiquette guidelines in all of our discussion boards. Thank you. And then quiz, again, information about for faculty to use the quizzes. We do have this line in here: before taking this quiz, be sure to review, and then you can link to, I often linked to my required reading pages because I often use reading quizzes. So you can put that information in there. So yeah, so that's what those look like. And then at the end, we have a wrap up and looking ahead section. We can review what you've done this week, looking ahead to next week if you've got a major project coming up that they need to be working on. Yeah, we can put that information there as well. So our QMS standards that we've addressed then within the content module, we show the relationship between learning objectives and learning activities. The course design facilitates easy navigation and readability. We provide accessible text and images. And this is one way we meet that. We have a new feature that we integrated into Canvas, and that's Ally. Ally, if you have not used before, is a very easy and valuable tool for students. So for students, what Ally does, it provides them alternative formats for information on a course. So like this page could be downloaded as an EPUB file for e-reader, electronic braille, audio, this Beeline reader. So that's a pretty cool feature throughout. I'm trying to think of another good one to show for that. Maybe our syllabus. Yeah, we've got alternative formats there. And then, so there's some more possibilities. And then also throughout the course, Ally gauges our accessibility. So there's these gauges here, and this is a low accessibility because this document has some accessibility issues, which is why we have a study group to work on improving it. But you can also get a report of your whole course and its accessibility. So our template is 99% accessible. We've got just a few issues. These are related to that syllabus. These are a couple things that I haven't quite figured out how to fix. I've tried some things, but anyways, we're doing pretty good, I think. So that is kind of a brief tour of, or maybe not brief, of our template. So just some notes about how we are using it or have used it. So our implementation, we did kind of a soft rollout. We contacted some faculty who were teaching in the summer and said, hey, we've got this resource. We want to give it a try. We also provided all faculty members a sandbox in Canvas, so just like an empty shell, but we imported the template into the sandbox so that everybody would have a copy of it. And we tried to get the word out, emails, newsletters, campus announcements. So that's how we kind of initially got things implemented. But there were some challenges. So this is more on the technical side of it. If you are considering using a template, and it's like a campus-wide template, I will strongly encourage you not to use the blueprint feature in Canvas if you're a Canvas school. We ran into some issues with that. There's another way you can set it up where you make the course a template and assign it to a sub-account, and then courses created will have that template in there, but that's probably more than you want to know right now. Usage is optional, which is a challenge for some. For us, we would like to see more and more faculty use it, because again, the intent was to give everyone's courses a structure that would be easy for students to navigate. So if they looked kind of similar, we're not looking for cookie cutter courses. The template can be tailored and tweaked to meet your needs, but if generally it functions about the same, then that's beneficial for students. So we'd like to see more usage, but we have gotten positive feedback from instructors who have used it, and our leadership is all on board with it, especially our deans. They're very excited. So we are definitely making some progress. I did want to share some design resources that I used, just in case if you're thinking about making a template. These are all kind of cool features to use. So if you want free images, Pixabay and Pexels both offer open licensed images. Coolors is very cool. I want to show it. It's kind of neat. So what Coolors does, it gives you a color scheme. So like you give it one color and then it'll suggest 4 or 5 colors that would complement that color. So there's Pro, of course, but there's free as well. I just did want to point out there are some blinking. They do give a warning here about blinking colors. So if you're photosensitive, you might want to look away. But I'm going to go through the tutorial. So it randomly will select colors for you. And then like if you really like a color or 2 colors, but maybe not the other ones, it'll give you some other suggestions for it. This is a cool feature I like about it, is you can upload an image and point to kind of the colors that you like on there, or maybe want to feature, and then it'll give you a palette of colors that will complement that picture. So I thought that's pretty cool. So I did use a little bit of that with the course design and using that front page there. Canvas Commons. So I mentioned that I used a little bit of coding to get that yellow bar. I learned that from the Canvas Queen. If you go to Canvas Commons and search Canvas Queen, you'll see all sorts of courses from her, and one of them is the coding, and there's all kinds of things, and try not to get geeked out about it. That's just me. And then emoji. So I used emojis in the course, which can easily be added, but there's another way to add them through Unicode. Again, it's a little more advanced. If you want to play around with it, it's fun, I think. And I think that is all I have for talking. I feel like I've been talking forever. So does anyone have any questions? Or Sarah, was there anything in the chat?
Heather, there is. Jacob asks, do you have institutional backing for the template?
So yes, like I mentioned, we do have support from leadership, and we've had faculty members who have used it, who have found it great. We just need to get the knowledge out there more and make people more aware of it and what they can do with it. So that's, so yes, we do have the backing of our administration and support from some faculty.
Heather, there's another request. Could you go back to the last slide with text on it?
This one?
I think that is it. Would you? Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Sylvia and Tina, is this the slide you were referencing?
Yes. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. Thank you.
Hello, this is Rita from Moraine Valley Community College. I have a question, Heather.
Sure.
I love the template, but I have a question about when you do a course copy from one semester to another, does the generic content automatically get updated by the institution, or is that then the instructor's responsibility to make sure all those links and everything are working and updated as needed?
Mm-hmm. So that's a good question. So one thing that we did find, obviously we've had instructors who've been teaching here a long time, and they like the way their pages are laid out and structured, and that's fine. They can take out our pages, and if they have the assignments heading, and then they put their assignments there. If they've got it already formatted how they want, that's fine. We just wanted to provide that as a resource for, like I said, with adjuncts who might be last minute, or maybe there are folks who want to revise their design. But so you could copy the course and then bring in the template, and then you'd have to do some rearranging. And that's why I was cautioning with the blueprint feature. We found out, we didn't do this, but we found out, so with the blueprint, you make one course of blueprint and then copies of that blueprint for everybody. So that's what we used our initial sandboxes to make, was the blueprint feature. However, we came to find out that if you make a change in the blueprint, it could, we never got a yes or no specifically, it could make those changes in all those sandboxes. And the faculty have already worked on those. We didn't want to risk, overriding anything. So now we just do like an import a course copy of it, so it's not tied to anything. Thank you for that. Good point.
Does anyone else have a question for Heather? Okay, thank you. I'd like to thank Heather Moore. Let's give her a round of applause.
And I'd like to say too, if you've got if you're thinking about this, or you got some design questions or anything, please feel free to reach out. I've got my information here for you.
Thank you, Heather. A reminder that our last session today will be at 2 p.m. with Lara Narosky presenting Developing an In-House Orientation to Online Teaching. Heather, could you go to the next slide? Oh, it's okay. Links to attend the live session are on the conference website and also in the registration confirmation email. If you have any questions on registration or accessing the sessions, please contact Jeff Newell at jeff.newell@illinois.gov. Recordings of the presentation and handouts will be available at the conference site at ilco.net following the conference. Thanks, everyone. We hope to see you this afternoon at our 2 p.m. session. Bye-bye.
Thank you.